Hi, everybody. It's Ellen Weatherford.
And Christian Weatherford.
And this is Just the Zoo of Us, your favorite animal review podcast, where we take your favorite species of animals and rate them out of 10 in the categories of effectiveness, ingenuity, and aesthetics.
We are not zoological experts, but we try our hardest to bring the most accurate information we can.
And this is the Max Fun Drive. You look forward to it every year. We look forward to it every year.
Welcome.
It's a fun time. We're very excited about it. If you're maybe a newer listener, you haven't listened to us since the last Max Fun Drive, we belong to a network called Maximum Fun. Maximum Fun is a worker-owned co-op that supports shows like ours and lets us keep making this show the way that we want to make it, right? We get to make it totally ourselves. We're not beholden to anybody. There's no network overlords bearing down on us, breathing down our necks, telling us what we can and can't say.
Yeah, they gave us a piece of paper that said directions, and that's all it said on there.
It said, do what you want. Yeah. So we get to keep making the show the way that we want to make it because of support from the Max Fun Network and the members who keep it going. So we are really only able to keep putting out episodes of this show every week because of the financial support that we get from the members who like what they hear and want to keep hearing it. So this time of year, we spend a couple of weeks celebrating and really thanking the people who give to us, but we also invite new folks to join and be a part of it for as little as $5 a month. So we're going to talk later on in this episode more about details and rewards, so what you can get out of it. And I gotta say, there's some really exciting stuff. Like, I'm chomping at the bit for this stuff. I think you guys are going to love it. But we're going to talk about that later after our first segment. So in the meantime, for more information or to get signed up, head over to MaximumFun.org/join. Oh, also one more thing. We're doing a Q&A episode next week. So please do send in any sort of questions you have for us that might be about nature or podcasting or us ourselves just as people, any sort of questions like that. Please do send those in to me. My email address is ellen@justthezooofus.com. We'll be answering those questions next week.
Yeah, send in the Q's. We'll have the A's.
Yeah, we sure will. And that's all my little housekeeping that I wanted to talk about. And it's my turn to go first this week.
Okay, so what do you got for us this week?
This week I'm talking about chinchillas.
Oh.
I'm very excited. Chinchillas belong to the genus Chinchilla.
Another one of these.
Yeah, but there's more than one species of chinchilla.
Okay.
Yeah, so one of them is more commonly kept in like the pet trade. So if you've ever seen a chinchilla just like being kept as a pet, that chinchilla is the long-tailed chinchilla, and they belong to the species Chinchilla lanigera. This species was submitted by Antonio Pereca and Else van Vessem. And I was really curious as to why two requests for the chinchilla came in so close together. I'm going to talk a little bit later about why I think people have been thinking about chinchillas a little bit more recently.
Okay. Can I tell you where I first heard about chinchillas?
Like ever in your life?
Yes.
Please.
It was on the animated TV show.
If you say Naruto, I swear I'm quitting.
The animated TV show Jackie Chan Adventures.
Really?
Yes.
What could they have possibly been talking about? There certainly was not a chinchilla talisman on Jackie Chan Adventures.
I don't remember the details now. I think someone got turned into a chinchilla or something like that.
Huh.
There was one, though, but that was the first time I had ever heard of a chinchilla.
Really? Did you think it was like a made up for the show sort of thing?
No, because it looked too plain. Like, oh, this must be a real thing I just didn't know about.
You figured they could have done better? You let
and a show about magic and dragons and all this
true.
stuff. So like...
They could have zhuzhed it up a little bit. This one's boring. This must be real.
Yeah.
That's funny. I could not tell you where I first heard of chinchillas, but I could tell you where I first met one, though.
Okay.
Was working at a pet store.
Oh,
yes. To work with the chinchillas that we sold in the pet store. So I have just a little bit of firsthand experience, like hands-on experience with chinchillas, which will matter. I will have some insight to bring into some of the stuff I'll be talking about this episode. I'm getting my information from the San Diego Zoo and Smithsonian's National Zoo. If you've never seen a chinchilla in your life, or maybe only ever seen them on Jackie Chan Adventures, this is a little gray, super fluffy rodent. Like, imagine the fluffiest rodent you've ever seen, and it's fluffier than that. It's like it's made of a cloud.
Oh.
It's a little gray rodent with these long, round ears, a long, fluffy tail. They're like sort of rabbit-shaped almost, so they have the long ears and the long back legs.
Mm-hmm.
But they are a rodent. They are about a foot long, but the tail adds another 4 to 6 inches, which is like a little smaller than a cat, like a house cat. But here's the thing. They weigh less than 2 pounds.
Mm.
They are so much smaller than they look. There's so little animal in there.
Aww.
They're so tiny, but their fur is so fluffy that they look a lot bigger than they actually are.
Aww.
I know, it's pretty cute. Now, chinchillas are native to the Andes Mountains. This is a range which runs all along the western edge of South America.
Mm.
So most wild chinchillas today can only be found in Chile. So there are still wild chinchillas. You can still see chinchillas roaming wild in Chile.
Wow.
Which is pretty cool, I think.
Are you like up in the mountains?
Way up there. Yeah. So they live in arid grasslands that are high up between 9,800 to 16,000 feet.
Wow.
Yeah. Which for metric listeners is 3,000 to 5,000 meters. Yeah. So way up there in the mountains, which actually was a huge barrier in keeping chinchillas outside of this range. Like trying to keep them alive outside of this elevation proved really challenging. I'll talk about that in a little bit. So if this is your first time ever listening to this podcast, we rate animals out of 10 in different categories. The first of which is effectiveness, which is how physical adaptations to this animal's body that let it do the things it's trying to do. I'm giving the chinchilla a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
So a lot of their points I'm giving them are for the fur. Chinchillas can have up to 75 hairs per follicle.
Whoa.
Which, that might not sound that impressive, but to put it into a little bit of context, humans have 2 to 3 hairs per follicle.
Yeah.
So, imagine just being, what is that, like 30 times as much hair density as a human.
That's a lot, and that's not even getting into spacing of the follicles, the hair width.
Right. It's very, very fine, very, very fluffy hair. This is actually the densest fur of any terrestrial mammal. Do you remember who has them beat?
I'm guessing it's perhaps the sea otter.
It is sea otters. Yeah. Sea otters have them beat by about 4 times.
Really?
Yes.
It's not even the final form.
No, it's not. It's not even close. Like sea otters have like 4 times as many hairs. They have like hundreds of hairs per follicle.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but chinchillas, as far as land mammals go, chinchillas have the game cornered.
Okay.
Yeah. And I have touched this fur. I had to, because one time I was cleaning out the cage of the chinchilla in the store that I worked at, and the chinchilla did jump right out, and I had to catch it.
Oh.
Typically, I avoided like handling the rodents in the store too much because they tended to be kind of bitey.
Yeah.
And the chinchilla was tempting, but like, I mean, you just like, it draws the hand in. You're like, I just got it. It calls to you like the Green Goblin mask. It just wants to be petted. The chinchilla doesn't want to be petted, but the fur just like beckons.
Right.
Resisted the urge until one jumped out of the cage, and I did have to catch it.
Oh.
And I did have to put my hand into that fur. And it is like when you grab a chinchilla, you think you're about to make contact with skin, and you are not. You are a good like 2 or 3 inches away. So like your hand just keeps going deeper and deeper than you think it's gonna go.
It's like the lion in Steven Universe.
Yeah, you just sink right into another dimension. But it is extremely soft. It is so soft. Very, very soft fur. Now, the fur also, in addition to being, really helpful for the cold climates that they live in for keeping them warm, they can also use this fur evasively. So when they're grabbed by something like a predator, chinchillas can actually release a clump of fur to escape. It's called a fur slip.
Oh my.
Yeah, so like you can just yank the fur right out, and then you're left holding a clump of fur, and the chinchillas run away.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like, I take that to mean that it's not very tightly like anchored to the animal. They can very easily like slip out of it and run off.
Is there a very technical term for this?
The only thing I could see it referred to as is a fur slip.
Okay.
Why? What are you going to
I was just wondering, because it was reminding me of the tail dropping behavior and how that had a special name for it.
Oh yeah, caudal autotomy
Yes.
was what that was called. Yeah, it is a lot like that, though, like sacrificing a little bit of your body to escape.
Although way less skin in the game.
Yeah. Although here's the thing, though. They could have done it the way that porcupines do it, which is they could, be very loosely attached so that they fall right out and also be knives. So like porcupines have kind of even improved on this technique, I think.
I see.
Yeah. So in contrast with a porcupine, we could be doing more, I think.
Sure.
Now, there's a kind of really common myth that the density of their fur chokes out parasites, that things like fleas and ticks and mites can't like survive because of how dense their fur is. That's not like completely true. It's kind of the thing with opossums and rabies. Like, it's really difficult for them. It's rare and it's difficult for them to get parasites, but they can. It's not physically impossible.
Right.
But it is really rare. You don't see it as much, but it's not like, oh, it's impossible.
I would think it's less about surviving and just amount of effort it would take to get down to the skin.
Like, there's easier stuff. You think they get on a chinchilla and they're like, absolutely not. No, thank you.
Like, I wouldn't expect them to literally suffocate, like, from the fur density.
It's kind of like how it's like less likely for people with curly hair to get lice, but it's not impossible because it's so much more difficult for lice to grab on to like a curly shaped hair. But if you have like thin straight hair, it's pretty easy for like lice to navigate through it. So they're like, oh, this is cool. Like, it's easy for me to get around. And like they might take the path of least resistance.
Sure.
They can get on a chinchilla. It's just kind of rare. Now, here is where I kind of docked a little bit of points. The density of the fur means that they are extremely vulnerable to heat and humidity. Yeah, so they have that kind of like dense sort of downy undercoat, that like traps heat close to the body. Great for living high up in the Andes Mountains where it gets really, really cold. But they can't actually sweat to release heat.
Yeah.
So, because where's it going to go? Like they don't have anywhere to sweat out of. So they can overheat very easily, and temperatures over even just 80 degrees are dangerous for chinchillas.
It sounds like a bad pet to have in Florida.
I don't know why we were selling chinchillas in Florida. Now, the chinchillas that we sold in Florida, obviously we kept them in a store that was well air conditioned. It didn't get very hot in there. And also the chinchillas were kept with this very interesting little piece of marble, basically. It was like a little square cut of just marble stone.
Yeah. And
it stayed really, really cool. And we would just leave it in the cage and the chinchilla would just lay down on the marble to stay cool.
It's a chinchilla heat sink.
And then you would just have to like turn it over every like couple hours or so, like when it would get warm, like you turn it to like the cool side of the pillow, basically.
I want bed marble.
You what?
I want bed marble.
No, you don't. Although, so I have seen that like I think some ancient cultures used stone for pillows instead of like soft things. So, I mean, honestly, sometimes I feel like that could probably be pretty nice. I feel like I need a pretty firm pillow. So it doesn't sound that bad to me. Now, the fur, like I mentioned, it doesn't allow any moisture to escape. Like any moisture is not going to just evaporate out of that fur because it is trapped in there.
Right.
So humidity or getting their fur wet can actually lead to mold or fungal infections on their skin. I mean, I have pretty thick hair, and even just like leaving my hair wet for too long, my scalp gets irritated, like it doesn't feel good. But for a chinchilla, I mean, that water's not going anywhere. So they can get really nasty skin problems if they get wet. And since their fur should not get wet, they have to keep their fur clean and free of debris by rolling around in volcanic sand, which is the cutest thing in the world. I don't know if you've ever seen a chinchilla take a dust bath. Have you ever seen this?
I think I saw a video of it once.
It is so cute. We got to like give dust baths to the chinchillas we had in the store, and oh my gosh, it's adorable. They have the cutest little like flicky little rolling movement. It is so cute. It does seem like it's doing the opposite of cleaning, though. I feel like you're just introducing more dirt into the equation.
But it's the preferred.
It's my favorite dirt.
So does this mean volcanic ash is something they have access to in their home range?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like volcanic sand. It's
okay.
like the sand that, settles after.
I guess it would make sense for a mountain range to have volcanic activity.
Yeah, I think that area is just chock-a-block with, is that part of the Pacific Rim? The only thing I know about the Pacific Rim is that it's the title of a movie, and that's all I know.
Yeah.
But I feel like I think about Pacific coasts being like full of volcanoes.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably some volcanoes down there.
The Ring of Fire is what I think of.
So yeah, they do have to roll around in dust baths. So if you've ever like seen them do this and wondered like, oh, I wonder why they do that, it's because they have to get stuff out of their hair, but they can't get wet. So this is how they can, it's like dry shampoo, basically.
Yeah.
It's how they can keep their fur clean without getting mold. I kind of think of them as like Seattle houses that aren't built with AC. Like they just don't really have any means, because they're like adapted to a cold climate. They don't really have very many means of cooling themselves off. So they're really vulnerable to heat, which is not good considering that it's only getting hotter, babes. Like the trend isn't looking chinchilla friendly. You know, like it's only going to get warmer, and they don't have a lot of options for handling warmth well. So it's not looking great.
I was going to say, yeah, we take the heat regulation for granted sometimes.
Yeah, it must be nice. Living up in the Northwest now, where people have historically not needed to worry about AC so much. Now summers are a little bit nightmarish.
Yeah.
But they do have one sort of way of releasing heat from their body, and that is those big old ears.
Yay.
Those big, giant bunny rabbit ears. They're so cute and so fluffy, and they do act as a heat sink.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if you haven't heard us talk about this before, the idea when an animal has these big ears, the ears are full of blood vessels, and the skin in the ears is really, really thin. It's a lot thinner than it is in other parts of the body, so the blood vessels pass really close to the air outside. So the blood flowing through the ears is able to release a lot of that heat out through that really thin skin and then cycle back into the animal's body at a lower temperature. So it's able to like lose heat through their ears,
right?
Keep them from overheating, which helps in the warm summer temperatures, because it does get warm in the mountain areas where they live, but not too warm. So they're not super well adapted to heat, which can kind of hurt them sometimes. Now, here's what I didn't expect. And this is going to be a little bit of a letdown for people because I couldn't find a huge explanation for it. They have vertical slit pupils, like a cat.
Really?
Yeah. Like a cat's eyes. And I was like, do other rodents have vertical slit pupil? I honestly had never paid attention.
Well, are you about to get into what they eat?
They're not predators.
I was like, not even insects, maybe?
Not really. No, they eat like grass and seeds and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. So like you mentioned, like vertical slit pupils are usually seen in nocturnal predators. So why chinchillas have them? I could not tell you. They do like forage at night, but they're not hunting anything. So they wouldn't need like amazing depth perception.
Don't know. Maybe the grass they look for is pretty sparse.
I really couldn't find like a for sure explanation about it. I did, just to double check to make sure this wasn't just like a normal rodent thing. I checked rat and squirrel pupils, and those are both round. So it doesn't seem to be a normal rodent thing. I didn't check for all the other rodents, but this was the only rodent I could find that had vertical slit pupils.
Interesting.
Very strange. So I was wondering if maybe they're like secretly an ambush predator. Can you imagine being like ambushed by a chinchilla?
Maybe they used to be, or some ancestor used to be.
Oh, that would be crazy. Can you imagine? Like, now we've talked about carnivorous rodents before.
Yes.
The grasshopper mouse,
right,
which I don't think has any relationship to a chinchilla, but
maybe
let them cook.
It was the kind of thing that just didn't go away after shifting diets,
right?
But
like they're like, sure, yeah, keep your vertical slit pupils, who cares, it's not gonna hurt. Yeah, that was just an odd little detail that I actually couldn't really find a super good explanation for, other than just slit pupils allow for expanding to let in more light when it's dark, so I guess it could help them see at night anyway, but it's just unusual that an animal that's not a predator would have that. The next category that we rate animals on is ingenuity. This is behaviors, things they do to solve problems that they face and thrive where they live. I'm giving them an 8 out of 10. And I'm going to have to kind of split this up into behavior in the wild and behavior in human care.
Right.
Because you're going to get different results either way. So in the wild, chinchillas are very social. They live in herds of up to 100.
Wow.
And could you imagine scaling a mountain and you come across 100 chinchillas. That's amazing. Like, that would be so great. I feel like they would be like an extension of the clouds almost. Now, female chinchillas are larger than the males and more socially dominant.
Oh.
So, girl boss, queen behavior. They also can turn aggressive towards each other during breeding season. Like, the females can turn aggressive towards each other. They rarely actually come to blows. They usually just kind of tiff. They might just kind of like growl at each other and kind of snap a little bit, but they rarely fight. But they do keep an eye out for threats so that if one of them sees a predator, they can alert the herd and send everybody scattering, which they're so fast. You cannot catch these guys. Oh my God, they're so fast. Because this one that got out of the cage, I could not catch that dude. What I had to do to catch the chinchilla was I had to corner it, and I had to use one of those like brooms with the bucket that's on a pole, like a dustpan that's like
with the long handle.
Yeah, with a long handle, and I had to use a broom to like scoop it into the dustpan, and then I had to hold the broom against the mouth of the bucket and like carry the chinchilla back to the cage.
Yeah.
They're so fast. And here's the thing about them being incredibly fast. They are also so much smaller than they look like. So they can get into the tiniest little crevices. Like they can just slip through these really, really tiny, narrow little openings that you would not think they could. Because they just like zoop, they just right through there.
Right.
Like a liquid, non-Newtonian fluid.
Sort of like what an octopus will do sometimes.
Yeah, a little bit. Because they're just mostly just like soft mass. Now, in human care, I have never kept a chinchilla, so I couldn't really speak to their intelligence as a pet. But I did look on YouTube, and there are a lot of videos on YouTube from people who do have pet chinchillas where they're demonstrating the behaviors that they taught their chinchillas. So they can be taught tricks. They can be taught their name. And they can be potty trained.
What?
Yeah, you can give them a little litter box and teach them to use it.
Wow.
This is like rodents often will kind of have a certain spot that they like to go to the bathroom. Like if you have a rodent in your care, you'll kind of get to know where they like to go to the bathroom in their like enclosure, and chinchillas will kind of like have a spot they like to use. So you can teach them to use a litter box that way. But they can be potty trained, and I saw all sorts of videos of people doing like giving them verbal commands that they would like follow. So they seem to be pretty well trained, and they're very social. They can be pretty well socialized towards humans. Seem like clever little guys. I'm going to count anecdotal evidence in this.
All right.
Give them an 8.
I'll allow it.
So this brings me to aesthetics for the chinchilla. Of course it's going to be a 10 out of 10. This is the cutest. I mean, they're so cute. They're adorable. They're like a perpetual baby because they're so fluffy that it just makes all of their proportions look so baby-like. Like it gives them that little like small mouth and the big round eyes, and they're so cute.
Do they have a smell?
I can't recall a smell. I would imagine that they're going to smell like whatever bedding you use, probably like to, take care of them. You know what? I bet since they don't sweat, they probably don't smell very much. So they're even softer than they look. Like they look pretty soft. They're softer than that. It feels like when you touch one, it feels like you're not touching anything. It feels like your hand is just passing through air. It's like touching through like bubbles.
Oh.
Like if you make a bubble bath and there's like a big mound of just bubbles and you like pass your hand through it.
Right.
That's what it's like.
Okay.
Yeah, it is very, very soft. And they look hilarious when they're wet. If you've ever seen a wet chinchilla, you're not supposed to get them wet, but if for whatever reason you have to get one wet, which is usually like a vet might have to like bathe them in something for their skin. Like if they have like a skin infection that they need to be like shampooed for or something, you might have to get one wet for that type of purpose. It is so funny. It is hilarious. they look mad.
Exposed.
It is so silly, and you can really see how tiny they actually are. Like then it is a great reminder that this is just a rodent. It is a rodent. They're so tiny under there. Have you ever seen a picture of a wet owl?
Yes, I have.
It's a lot like that. They're like hunched over. They look mad.
Yeah, those animals are funny where they're down, or if fur hides their like the majority of their anatomy.
Their true form.
Yeah.
It's like the true chinchilla is just like piloting a larger mech. So this brings me to our final sort of wrapping up bits for the chinchilla. Both species of chinchilla are endangered. So that's the short-tailed and the long-tailed. So their incredibly soft fur has been extremely desirable for garments. Chinchilla coats and things like that were seen as like very luxurious. I mean, it is very, very soft and pretty. It's pretty. It's like a silvery gray color. So, you know, you get that unfortunate combination of being both like aesthetically nice and also feeling really good. But the problem is that since chinchillas are really, really small, it takes a lot of pelts to make a garment.
Right.
So even just one full-length coat can take over 100 chinchillas.
I believe it, yeah.
Like full individual chinchillas, like 100 to make one coat.
Right.
I'm going to read from an article because I think that this person summed up the conservation story of the chinchillas really, really well. This article is called From Wilderness to Breeding Farms, The Domestication of the Chinchilla Lanigera, and that was by Angela Vergara in Arcadia in fall of 2022. And Angela writes, between 1898 and 1910, Chile exported about 7 million chinchilla pelts per year.
Wow.
Pushed by high prices and soaring demand, hunters used fire and dogs without discriminating between old and young or male and female animals. Hunting methods, lack of regulation, and rising demand in the North Atlantic created the perfect storm. So you get kind of just obliteration of chinchilla populations. Now, in 1910, because that article mentioned between 1898 and 1910. In 1910, a treaty was actually signed between Chile, Bolivia, Argentina, and Peru to ban the trapping and exporting of chinchillas. Wow. Now, this is great news, but there were very few left at this point, like very, very few in the wild. But the legal protections were very necessary in helping them recover their numbers. This is where a guy named Matthias Chapman comes in. Matthias Chapman was a mining engineer. He encountered chinchillas while working in a copper mine in Chile. So he's working in Chile on a copper mine. Someone brings by a chinchilla. He sees one. He's like, I love that. He decided he wanted to capture enough chinchillas to bring them back to the U.S. and begin his own chinchilla farm. Now, the problem was that nobody had ever successfully raised chinchillas in captivity before. Nobody had ever brought them down from the mountains before. People had tried and they died.
Right.
Like, all their fur fell off and they died. So Chapman was the first one to both, one, transport them in multiple short trips. So he didn't take them all the way down right away. He'd take them a little bit down, stop and wait. Take them a little bit more, stop and wait. So he's letting them like acclimate to lower elevations. So he made the trip really slowly in a bunch of short bursts. And he also built a custom pen that involved a compartment for ice in the middle. So it was like a big pen that he had basically a big block of ice.
Oh, like an animal pen.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Do you think I meant like a special writing pen?
Yeah, I was like, how does this help? It's cool. It sounds cool, but...
for writing down all the important details. No, so he was keeping them with a big block of ice in the middle to keep it cold enough because the temperature was killing a lot of the chinchillas. So eventually he was able to successfully bring chinchillas back to California, where he did begin breeding and selling them. So he took 11 chinchillas out of Chile and started his whole business with just those 11 chinchillas.
Right.
There's this really common sort of factoid floating around that like every chinchilla in human care now descends from those 11 chinchillas. I could not confirm this at all. Like I saw a lot of people saying it. Nobody had any sort of like backup for it. So I couldn't really confirm that was even really true, but I did find a very thorough article that was titled The Origins and Wild Chinchillas Today. And this was from a website called chincare.com. The source isn't one that I'm super familiar with, but the article did appear to me to be very thoroughly researched. Like they had dozens of sources that they cited in this article. So I really recommend that anyone curious about this go check it out. But basically, they were really examining and disputing this narrative that Chapman saved the chinchillas. This is what everyone says. Chapman, he saved the chinchillas by taking 11 of them out of the wild and then breeding them so that, you know, you could buy them for furs from this farm rather than having to take them out of the wild.
Mm-hmm.
And the point of this article is basically to say that no, what he actually did was did further damage to an already imperiled wild population, which had already gained legal protections.
Right.
Like, he already wasn't supposed to be taking them out of the country. Nobody was supposed to be taking them out of the country. And he did further damage by removing 11 breeding adults, because they were only going to be useful to him if they were breeding adults, right?
Mm-hmm.
They could have stayed behind in the wild and bred in the wild and made more wild chinchillas.
Right.
But he took 11 prime specimens out of a population that was already struggling. So they could have done better if he just left them there.
It makes me wonder how successful those countries were at enforcing the laws. Like, were they able to stop the poaching effectively? Which sounds like maybe not if Chapman was able to just, you know, waltz in and grab some.
He did actually. There was a lengthy sort of back and forth between him and the government, the Chilean government, where he asked them to take some out of the country and they said no, like multiple times. And he kept badgering them about it until they said yes.
Oh.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess there's something to be said for persistence, but also, you know, like it definitely wasn't the sort of thing where you could easily just like go grab one.
Okay.
Also, I mean, it's very difficult to go grab them, right? Like,
sure.
It's not the sort of thing you could just walk right up and take one. Like, you have to do you have to go up into the mountains and then transport them down. Like, someone's going to notice, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, he did eventually get permission from the government to take them out. But, you know, there's an argument that, like, would they have been better off if he didn't do that?
Mm.
And then some people say, oh, well, you know, since he was breeding them, then that meant that people that wanted the furs didn't have to get them out of the wild. You know, I don't know. It just, I found this to be a really interesting article that like pushed back against that like narrative that this guy like saved the chinchillas by himself.
Right.
So I mentioned earlier that multiple people had requested the chinchilla within a short amount of time, which I was like, there's got to be something, right? Like, there had to be something that like spurred people on. I found what I think might have been the source of the recent sort of wave of chinchilla hype.
Okay.
It is a song from TikTok.
All right.
Australian TikToker Matt Storer posted a song on January 23rd, which is when I started getting requests for chinchillas.
Okay.
Called Chinchillin, or at least that's what the caption is. And it is a parody of Lovin' on Me by Jack Harlow, but it's about chinchillas. And I will play a clip from the song here so that you guys can hear it, because it's the lyrics are very clever.
Okay.
I'm chinchilla, baby. I'm so cute, fluffy, cold filler, baby. Sprout 80 hairs from just one follicle, baby. I'm a sub as a boy, watch bigger, baby. And the thing about this road, and I know my bros is endangered out there in the wild. By looking up in the Andes, baby. Living crepuscularly, baby.
I don't think I'm familiar with a song that's a parody for.
Oh, I'm not gonna sing the song.
Okay.
Because I don't know the words. I recognize the melody of it, but I don't know the words.
I don't
of the
even
song.
have that.
You got nothing on it?
Yeah.
Well, I do really appreciate that song uses the word crepuscularly.
Yes.
Like in a song. That's great. Crepuscular means like you're active in the low light periods of the day. So I thought it was a really cute song. I thought it was funny.
Cool.
Yeah, and it took off on TikTok, so it gave me a fun reason to talk about chinchillas. It's a good
Excellent
song. And that's Chinchillas.
Thanks, hon.
Thank you. And thank you to the people that requested it. That was a lot of fun. Before we get into Christian's animal, I'd like to talk a little bit more about the Max Fun Drive that we mentioned at the top of the hour. Like I mentioned, this is the time when we are giving back, basically, to people that support the show and the other shows on the network. One of the ways that we are thanking members is with bonus content. So Maximum Fun has a bonus content library that includes hundreds and hundreds of hours of exclusive content from all of the Maximum Fun podcasts, including us. Once you become a member at any level, starting at $5 a month, you get access to all of that bonus content.
Mm-hmm.
Not just this year's, not just our show, all of it. And we have done so far 3 bonus content episodes, so you would get to listen to all of them. In 2022, our bonus content was a tournament of our favorite animals. where we went back over the animals we talked about on the podcast so far and determined which one was our favorite.
Mm-hmm.
In 2023, we did a Fakemon workshop.
Ah, yes.
Where we came up with ideas for fake Pokemon.
Oh, that was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun. It was really good. You had some really good ideas. And this year's bonus episode, which is up right now, you can go listen to it if you are a member or if you become a member, is a very special episode on an animal that not a lot of people know about called the dewlap foraging slug. And I'll just say that Christian was my research assistant for that episode.
Yeah.
I'll drop a clip from the episode here so that you guys know what you're getting into. I have a very special animal to review in this episode.
Oh?
Yeah. But that's weird. My notes aren't totally done. There's some words missing.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't really have time to do all this research. Could you help me finish my notes?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. Thanks. You're such a lifesaver. Okay. Could you give me a noun?
Oh, boy. So I am fully unaware of what's coming up next.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. You, while we were sitting down about to hit record, you seemed quite distraught that you thought you had forgotten what I had planned for this Boko episode.
Yes.
I had to reassure you that I, in fact, never told you on purpose.
Excellent. What is the age rating you would like to keep these words?
I think let's go with PG.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe we could do a special grown-ups only version another time.
Interesting. Okay. I'm ready.
Okay. Could I have a noun, please?
Dewlap.
So in addition to the bonus content, there are also physical objects you can receive at higher tiers of membership. So at the $10 a month level, you get to choose an enamel pin from any show on the network. And ours is a rat driving a tiny car. So I don't know what more you want. Like...
Tell me about that, Ellen.
It's a rat driving a tiny car.
What is the motivation?
So way back when I did an episode I had all three hosts of Let's Learn Everything on the podcast, and they collectively decided to talk about rats. One of the things we talked about during that episode was an experiment in which scientists taught rats to drive cars. And we talked about rats driving cars, and that was really, really great. It was a mental image that really stuck with me.
Perfect.
So our pin design is a rat driving a tiny car, and it's so cute. At the $20 a month level, you can get an absolutely incredible bandana chessboard. And I really wanted to talk about this because it is like a bandana. So it's like a fabric square, right? But then it has this design on it, which is by illustrator Sonny Ross. And it features not just like a functional checkerboard, like fully ready to play on it, but also like around the border, it has these really charming illustrations containing Easter eggs for every show on the network, which is, it's so cute. And it also comes with game pieces, like little like tokens that have on one side, it's chess piece icons. And on the other side, it's the Max Fun Rocket. So you can actually play chess or checkers on your bandana.
Very good.
And then it's a bandana, so you can put your pins on it and use it as like a pin display on your wall, or you can like bundle it up and turn it into like a little mobile chessboard.
Right.
I think it's so cool. I am obsessed with it. I think it's so good. So if you are already a member, you can either upgrade your commitment to the next tier or just boost it a little bit if the next tier isn't doable for you, and that is to get this year's rewards. So we have a show goal. We always have like a goal for our show. So our goal this year is 300 new upgrading or boosting members. So if at least 300 of our listeners either join, upgrade, or boost their memberships this year, we want to commit to monthly bonus episodes. So every month doing a really fun, and like we have ideas for things that we want to do that we like want to make an episode about that doesn't really fit in our normal like podcast episode. Like maybe we like watch a sci-fi movie that has a cool animal in it that we want to talk about, or like, you know, talk about fictional things, or, you know, just like silly stuff we want to do that doesn't normally fit in our regular feed. But making all that stuff is a lot of work. It's very fun, but it is also a lot of work. We can make that work happen with y'all's help. So if we get enough people either joining or upgrading or boosting this year, we can make monthly bonus episodes happen. And I would really like to make that happen. So keep in mind, the show is free to listen to for anyone. So if supporting the network financially just isn't within your capacity right now, that is totally fine. We still love you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can, supporting our show will help us continue to provide this free educational content for everybody. And this podcast means the world to me. I mean, I think it means something to a lot of you guys too. So if you're willing and able, head over to MaximumFun.org/join. All right, Christian, what animal do you have for us this week?
I'll be talking about the walrus.
I am so excited for this one.
Scientific name, Odysseus rosmarus.
Rosmarus.
Yeah.
That's a cool name.
Yes. I don't believe this was submitted by anyone.
It was submitted by me. I really wanted you to do this one.
Ellen.
I wanted you to do this one. Via email. I had to submit it to you in writing.
To her own email.
Which I then forwarded to you.
And I'll be getting my information from Animal Diversity Web and National Geographic. And maybe one or two things along the way.
Oh, maybe some little surprises.
Yeah. So, walrus. Big
boy.
Aquatic mammal. They're very like sea lions or seals. Mm-hmm. They're in that same family of pinnipeds.
Kind of teardrop shaped.
Yeah.
Like the ultimate pear-shaped body.
Torpedo shaped for the water.
Yeah.
So these are very big. The males can weigh as much as 1,500 kilograms or 3,300 pounds and up to 320 centimeters long or 10.5 feet.
Did you say centimeters?
Yes.
Why are you measuring a walrus in centimeters?
I didn't do it.
How many centimeters was that?
320 centimeters or...
That is...
3.2 meters.
Okay, thanks.
You know why that was so easy to convert?
Why's that?
Because of the base 10 metric system.
Oh, it must be nice. God, I wish that were me.
Anyway, so yeah, and the females can weigh up to 850 kilograms or 1,800 pounds and a length of 2.7 meters.
Thank you.
Or 9 feet.
That's huge.
Something that separates them from the other pinnipeds, though, obviously, are their tusks. 2 big tusks coming out of their mouth, pointing downwards.
You can't miss them.
Can't. And they are present in both males and females.
I don't think I knew that.
Okay.
So in elephants, I think it's African elephants, the females also have tusks. Is it that the females' tusks are just smaller?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of like how it is in elephants. That's
Makes
interesting.
Sense. Yeah. They are found in the Arctic regions, and there are 2 subspecies. The Pacific walruses are around Russia and Alaska, and the Atlantic walruses are between northeastern Canada and Greenland.
I didn't realize they were different walruses.
Yeah. They belong to the taxonomic family Odysseus, which is the walrus is the only extant species of. There are many now extinct species, not recently extinct, but back in the fossil record.
My heart goes out to the ancient humans that had to go toe-to-toe with the giant walruses.
Yeah. And like I mentioned before, they belong to the same clade as seals and sea lions.
Yeah, so we've touched on pinnipeds before.
Yes.
It's been a while.
Which has been fun for us because, when we lived in Florida, that's just not something we have there
right,
anymore.
Yeah, no.
We don't have any pinnipeds in that part of the world.
They got them out here, though.
Yes.
I have not seen any. No,
I saw a recent reporting of sea lions in the Puget Sound, actually.
Oh, I swear I saw a harbor seal in the Puget Sound like a few weeks ago.
Apparently, the sea lions, it is sometimes noticed that they will swim all the way up into Lake Washington.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What are y'all doing up here? You're chasing salmon, I bet.
Yes, up the locks and things.
Oh, they're looking for the salmon. That's funny.
Yeah, exactly.
We could hear them from our house, I bet. Well, so on the topic of pinnipeds, because I find like marine mammal evolution to be really interesting, because when you think of marine mammals, you've got, the seals and the sea lions and the walruses, and then you've got things like whales and dolphins, and then you've got manatees. Mm-hmm. And just the fact that they're all marine mammals, you'd kind of think they were all related to each other. Not at all.
No.
So the pinnipeds, I think they're more closely related to like canines. Mm-hmm. Hi, it's me editing with a minor correction. Pinnipeds are in the Caeniformia suborder, but they're actually more closely related to musteloids, which are things like weasels, otters, and raccoons. But then the whales and the dolphins came from ungulates, right? So they're closer to like deer and cows. And then the manatees are Afrotheria, completely different. They're related to like elephants and hyraxes. So like it's so weird to me that you get such a very you look at a walrus and you look at a manatee and you tell me they're not cousins.
Well, it's the lip shape for those two, I think.
And they both have like the bristly sort of whiskery like jowls, you know, like it's just, and they're wrinkly. I don't know. I feel like they're both.
I think that's where it stops, though.
They're spiritually connected. Energetically aligned.
Yeah.
It's giving manatee.
So yeah, so jumping right into it, I'm giving for effectiveness a 9 out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah. So first one, talk about the tusks. So they are actually enlarged canine teeth.
Canine teeth.
Yes.
Okay. So unlike the elephants' tusks are their incisors.
Yeah, which speaks to the things they're eating, I think.
Yeah, what are those teeth good for? I cannot imagine that helping you eat.
Oh, for the walrus?
Yeah.
Oh, funny you ask, because they're used for helping them climb out of water onto ice, self-defense, including disputes with other walruses. And it's also used to break up holes in the ice.
Oh, so it's not even for like eating at all. It's like an ice pick.
Right. Because where you'll find these guys are on the ice over water. And then sometimes on the land close to the water during breeding season.
Interesting.
Sometimes.
You mentioned that it's used for getting them up out of the water.
Yeah. Like imagine trying to climb out of a hole in the ice and then using those tusks to like give themselves some leverage to pull up their body.
Can you imagine if every time you wanted to like leave your house, you had to do it with your teeth?
Yeah.
You had to just hoist your entire... And those things are huge. They're so heavy. And they're pulling all of that mass up with their teeth.
Yeah. Those tusks average length of 50 centimeters or 20 inches.
Again with the centimeters.
Yeah, well, that makes sense on this one, Ellen. But can be as large as 90 centimeters or 35 inches. And like we mentioned earlier, males have larger tusks than females.
See, that's the thing. Like when you see this like sexual dimorphism, when like a male of a species has like a trait that the females don't have, that usually implies that it's like not a survival thing. It's like a breeding thing.
Yeah.
But they both have them. So it must be important. Like it must be important that they both have them.
Right. But the larger size, you know, you could probably guess that it's either about attracting mates or fending off competition for mates.
Yeah, that makes sense. We saw walruses at the Point Defiance Zoo. They have a big like enclosure for 2 walruses, I think.
At least 2, yeah.
At least 2. There may have been more than that. We only saw 2. But they have these really cool steel caps on the ends of the walrus's tusks.
Yeah.
Do you remember seeing that?
I've seen that in pictures. I don't know if I saw it on those, though.
Well, I remember seeing them.
Okay.
Their tusks have these steel caps.
They
on
were
the end of
underwater
them.
when we saw them for the most part.
Yeah, but they like come out a little bit and they were making a big noise. And we had the kids with us and our youngest one was dying laughing at the walruses. He loved them. But they had like big steel caps on there. I'm assuming that's maybe to prevent them from like damaging either their tusks or each other.
Tusk rot is a common problem in captivity for walruses.
Tusk rot.
Yes.
Ooh.
So their teeth, right? So,
Oh, true. Oh, that a dentist's nightmare. It's like, you guys are gonna be kidding me. Just the 2 big ones.
So I mean, I didn't see this specifically, but if I had to guess, it's probably about avoiding them hurting each other, and then maybe also avoiding from damaging them and causing further health issues.
Right. They could probably like chip it, like chip the end of it or something like that. It wouldn't feel very good.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a fashion thing. You could bling out their tusks.
Chrome.
Grills. You could give them grills for their tusks.
Yeah. Next thing we'll talk about are their whiskers. So you mentioned that when talking about them, how they kind of look like manatees. Although I would say the walrus whiskers are more prominent than manatees. And that's because they help to feel around on the ocean floor. Because they're looking for things like bivalve mollusks to eat.
Is that what they eat?
Yes.
Aww. Well, now those things aren't going to be moving around a whole lot. So what kind of movement are they detecting?
I think it's more of a tactile, like to differentiate them from the surrounding sediment.
Did you come across the fancy word for those?
I did, but I didn't note it.
Vibrissae?
Yes, that was
it. Yeah, it's cool. But it does work kind of like how barbels work on like bottom feeding fish and stuff.
So in captivity, you'll probably see walruses with pretty long hairs there, but in the wild, they get worn down from use.
You know what this actually reminds me a little bit of? The star-nosed mole.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
With the, like, sensory tendrils around the face.
Yeah.
This just makes more sense. This is a little less disturbing.
Yeah, for sure.
Than fleshy tentacles. I'd rather it just be the cute little whiskers.
Yeah.
Now, Christian, would you say, as someone with a beard and mustache, would you say that yours functions in a similar way?
No.
Do you have any notes for the walrus on facial hair maintenance?
I'm the wrong person to ask for that. I'm along for the ride.
Do you get facial hair envy from the walrus?
No, it looks itchy.
That's true. It doesn't look very comfortable.
Yeah. The next thing I wanted to talk about, though, is their thick skin and blubber. So being marine mammals in cold climates, it makes sense that they have a solid layer of blubber there, right? So their skin is 2 to 4 centimeters thick, and blubber can be as thick as 25 centimeters or 10 inches.
How did you spell that thick?
With a CK. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just the one C then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
And it is thicker in males. Probably, if I had to guess, for protection against fighting off other males.
Dad bod. The ultimate dad bod.
I do wonder if it's something of an evolutionary race between the length of their tusks and the thickness of their blubber.
Just build thicker armor.
Yeah.
See who can develop tusks long enough to pierce the other ones.
Right.
Interesting.
They're pretty strong swimmers. Now, their back flippers do what sea lions do, where when they're out of the water, their back flippers flip forward for walking.
It's very silly.
Yeah.
I've never seen a walrus actually walk before. I've seen them scoot. It's kind of a scooting. I think walking is a generous description of what they do.
Well, this is something that separates them from the true seals, right?
The true seals.
Where they can't do that and they have to just kind of slide and scoot. But yeah, just like sea lions, they can flip those back flippers forward to kind of walk on, like a scuba diver might do with wearing their flippers.
But because like the walrus's feet are basically connected at the ankles, don't they have to do a sort of like helicoptering sort of like pinwheel sort of like rotating their feet around in silly little circles?
I think so. I get imagery of walrus mixed up with elephant seals because they...
Oh, sure. I could see that, yeah.
Yeah. But they have some common things there. Speaking of which, they are big. They're the third largest pinniped, and the first two being elephant seal species.
I did not appreciate how big walruses are until I saw them at the zoo.
Yeah.
And I got to actually like be kind of close to one. I was like, oh, this thing is no joke.
Yeah, they're big.
Built like a tank.
Out of the water, they have to contend with polar bears in that part of the world. But even then, the polar bears are going to go after the young or sick in that case.
Also, if you remember from our polar bear episode, they will just snipe them in the head with a rock. If you remember that.
No.
You don't remember that?
I don't. Well, okay. It sounds familiar, but the details escape me.
So the thing was that walruses would be like gathered like at the bottom of a cliff. The polar bear would climb to the top of the cliff and drop a rock down and like hit the walruses on the head with it. You don't remember that?
No.
It was a whole thing. They would just like yeet rocks down on the walruses and snipe them from above.
Wow.
Yeah, it's diabolical.
I have a negative thing to talk about in the next section related to their relationship with polar bears. But
I bet an orca could take it down a walrus.
Maybe, yeah. But it's a risky one because those tusks.
Yeah, that's true. It's like, yeah, you might take it down, but it's going to take you down with it.
Next thing is their eyes. They're adapted to cold weather with fat cells to keep them warm. I find them disturbing to look at, though.
Oh, they're so creepy. They're like bloodshot.
And also like kind of bugging out of their heads a bit.
It's really weird. Yeah, no, it feels uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I feel like when I look at them, I feel this like empathetic sort of like tension in my head.
Yeah.
I feel like they just have a headache all the time. I'm sure they don't. I'm sure it's fine for them.
And they do something that we talked about, I believe, with the sea lion episode, where they can delay their pregnancy, which apparently this is a common thing in the pinnipeds and lots of other animals too, actually. And this is from the paper, The Evolution of Seasonal Delayed Implantation by Sandel in the Quarterly Review of Biology in 1990. So with walruses, they can delay their pregnancy 4 to 5 months.
And by delay their pregnancy, you mean after the like egg has been fertilized.
Right, and turns into a blastula, I believe. The part that they delay in that process is where that clump of cells attaches to the lining of the uterus. So until it does that, it doesn't develop any further.
They're just holding on to it.
Yeah.
Keep it in your pocket for later.
And it does this for a timing reason, so that they can give birth on ice. And it's timed to maximize the health of both the mother and the calf, because it takes a lot of food in fat stores to nurse that calf once born.
Right. But also the calf is going to need to spend some time on the ice so that it's not just being born directly into the open mouth of a hungry polar bear.
And the final piece of effectiveness I want to talk about is their longevity. They live 30 to 40 years. Wow. Yeah. And their overall gestation period is something like 15 months. So
terrible.
So they're giving birth a maximum of like once every 2 years, kind of.
I've never been so thankful to not be an animal. That's miserable.
So finally getting into ingenuity. I'm giving a 6 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
They do communicate through sounds.
This is good. This is good. I've heard them. It's very good.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe we could find some sound clips there for that.
You could just make one.
I don't recall, actually.
Oh, that's weird. That's weird.
I'm so forgetful.
Oh, that's weird how that works every single time. Hi, me editing again. I found a really great video on YouTube from the Point Defiance Zoo and Aquarium titled E.T. the Walrus Practice His Vocalizations at Point Defiance Zoo and Aquarium. I wanted to play a short clip from this video because it includes some of the walrus's most unusual vocalizations, like a whistle sound that we're actually going to talk a little bit more about later in the episode, as well as a really unique bell clanging sound that I find fascinating. So listen closely.
Whistle. Bell.
They do, however, have a social hierarchy, and they practice polygamy, I believe is the term. It's the kind of thing where it's the biggest, strongest, oldest male that is usually the one who gets to mate with the females of a group. And there can be some fighting to determine that.
Get them. Knock them down. They're called a bull, right? Aren't they called a bull when, like a male walrus, I think it's called a bull?
Yeah, I think so. And outside of the breeding season, the walruses usually spend their time in herds of the same sex.
Boys club, girls club.
The exception being mothers with young males that are still being weaned.
You get a free pass. But you're on thin ice.
But if climate change.
Aww.
But eventually the male will get weaned and get to the age where they can go off on their own and join a male herd.
Toxic masculinity.
The way they eat is funny.
The mental image in my head has got to be silly.
I put the word just sucking here. Because
Would you say they suck at eating?
But in a good way. So like I mentioned, they primarily eat bivalve mollusks like clams. And they do so by sucking the soft bits out of the shell once getting them open enough with their mouths.
I mean, that's what you do. I mean, you don't open it with your mouth.
No,
but
I use a fork and nutcrackers.
But then still you slurp it out, right? That's how you eat a mollusk, right? I don't eat mollusks. I don't know if that's clear.
Personally. I just, grab them with my evolved and advanced appendages first.
With your much better and more refined... listen, if they had thumbs, I'm sure they would use them.
But the way it was described is they have a piston-like tongue that they use to form the vacuum.
Piston-like tongue.
Yeah. So they slurp that right out.
Oh, you mentioned that they have vocalizations that they use. Did you happen to come across a video of them whistling?
No, not as part of this research, but I do remember that from the past of the whistling.
They make like this really sort of hollow whistling sound. It is almost scary. I could definitely see being terrified by it if like you couldn't see the walrus and you didn't know that was what was making the sound.
No, that's not a just captivity thing, is it?
No, that's okay. Like they just make that sound.
Okay.
Like it's a beautiful sound, but it is very haunting.
Oh, okay. This is probably where the sirens came from in the Odyssey and such.
You think the walruses were the walrus? That creates a great mental image of Odysseus out at sea with his ship of sailors, and they see a bunch of walruses, and they're like, "Oh yeah!"
No, tie me to the mast. Do it now. Odysseus, what are you talking? Do it now.
The walrus? Are you sure?
All right,
Bro, that's a walrus.
you're the captain, I guess.
That's no better than what's his face in the manatees.
No, I guess it probably wasn't walruses, given the the part of the world that was supposed to be in. They do migrate, and their calves actually know how to swim immediately when they're born.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Look at them go.
However, this is the part I alluded to earlier.
Okay.
One of the ways polar bears will hunt these things is they'll find a group of them by the edge of the water, be that on ice or on land, and they will charge them. And the walruses will all rush into the water, sometimes stampeding over one another.
Oh, no. Oh, walruses.
So they might stampede over a smaller one, and the polar bear will just eat that one.
Oh, sweet. He's like, you guys do the work for me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. The polar bear will be like, I can't kill a walrus, but you guys can kill a walrus. Man, that's sad.
Pre-tenderized.
Oh my God, Christian. That's gross.
Okay, so that wraps up ingenuity, and on to the final category of aesthetics. I'm giving a 6 out of 10, and
yeah,
it's the eyes.
Yeah,
I don't like the eyes.
No, they're bringing it down a lot. They're really bringing down that score.
This is
terrible.
where we were comparing to manatees and such. This is where manatees come out on top.
For sure, yeah. For manatees are very cute.
Yeah,
walruses look cursed.
So yeah, they're big, they're brown, they have brown fur that kind of looks a little patchy sometimes.
I didn't know that they had fur.
Yeah, it's very sparse though.
Sure.
The males have these bumps on their neck. Aesthetically not super pleasing there. But the whistling can be cute, the whiskers can be nice.
The whiskers are actually kind of cute.
Yeah.
Like they're pretty cute. You know, if you see one from far enough away that you don't get so close that you're bothered by the eyes, they're pretty cute. I think the ones at the zoo are pretty cute.
Yeah.
But then I feel like when I see an animal in person, I'm so inclined to like think they're cute.
I hoped at one point to be able to see them like out of the water and then mostly standing still, just so I can get a good look at them. Just because when I was there last, and the only time thus far, they were in the water and moving.
Yeah.
So it was hard to get a detailed view of them.
But you know what's cool? When they are in the water and moving, you get to appreciate how like agile and graceful they are in the water.
Right. With the polar bears, the polar bear's only chance is to take them out of the water, because once they're in the water, no,
because the polar bear's not that. I mean, polar bears are good swimmers, but they're not anywhere near a walrus.
Yeah.
A walrus, I mean,
will literally swim circles around them.
Walrus like clears a polar bear in the water for sure.
Yeah. But that's part of the reason that the walrus does what it does when danger presents itself, is to get in the water.
Yeah. You know what's cool too? Like walruses and a lot of other like pinnipeds, they'll have their nostrils aligned at the very, very top of their nose, so that when they need to come up for air, when they need to breathe, they can just barely poke their little nostrils out of the water, and they don't have to expose any more of their body, so that they can hide from polar bears that might be on the ice.
Yeah, makes sense. And then just wrapping it up here, their conservation status is vulnerable. They were overhunted in the 18th and 19th centuries for their tusks, oil, and meat.
Yeah, there's a lot of resources going on a walrus's body.
They're still hunted today, in a much more managed fashion by indigenous peoples in the Arctic.
I think there are like exceptions to like, when a lot of times, especially in the Arctic, where you have a lot of like endangered or vulnerable animal, like marine animals up there will be rules around their hunting with exceptions carved out for like indigenous communities that have hunted them sustainably for like thousands of years.
Right. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. To be clear, the overhunting was not being done by the indigenous people.
No, that's like an industrial thing, right? You get like Europeans that come in with like industry that lets them hunt at way past sustainable rates. Right.
And like we mentioned, they're long lived, but they also have very long gestational periods. So
there's going to be a long time in between generations.
And I didn't look this up, but their sexual maturity probably isn't all that fast either.
Right.
But that is the walrus.
Can I put you on blast for a second?
Yeah.
You were doing notes and you turned to me at one point and you said, "Did you know that there is a song by the Beatles called I Am the Walrus?" And I was like, "Yeah, babe. Yeah, I did." Can you tell me you tell me more about why you said that?
Yeah, it's because, I don't know, I've just never been super into the Beatles. I could name one or two songs off the top of my head, and that was not one of them.
That wasn't one of them. You were just like so like astonished by this song.
So the way I got there, despite the roasting, I'm glad you brought this up because I did forget.
It was a drag with love.
There's a poem, The Walrus and the Carpenter by Lewis Carroll.
Hi, another editing note. Listeners familiar with the 1951 Disney film Alice in Wonderland may recognize this poem. It originally appeared in the 1871 novel Through the Looking Glass, which was the sequel to Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. The Disney film includes an animated sequence depicting the poem, so if you haven't seen it, it's a classic. You got to check it out.
And that poem was the inspiration for that Beatles song. So here's two stanzas of that poem because it is rather large. The sea was wet as wet could be. The sands were dry as dry. You could not see a cloud because no cloud was in the sky. No birds were flying overhead. There were no birds to fly. The walrus and the carpenter were walking close at hand. They wept like anything to see such quantities of sand. If this were only cleared away, they said, it would be grand.
In contrast, I'd like to read you some lyrics from I Am the Walrus by the Beatles. I am the Eggman. They are the Eggman. I am the Walrus. Goo goo gajoob. Goo 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 gajoob.
Yes.
Goo goo gajoob. Goo 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 gajoob. Goo joob joob juba 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 joob juba joob juba.
Etc.
Equally, I think, literary masterpieces.
Sure. So yeah, this was a poem by Lewis Carroll, and some have written that it's a commentary on the role of capitalism in society at that point. So the Beatles bringing it up because this was about two characters, the walrus and the carpenter, basically tricking in like a group of oysters to come get eaten. So in the song, they were saying that the Beatles, are the walrus in that situation. But I think I read something about it to where the band members, like years later, said maybe we were really the carpenter in this.
Oh, oof. I mean, this was during a time when their music was getting a little abstract. Yeah. So I don't know if they were of the soundest possible mind when writing this song. A lot of comparisons have been made to Jamie from Mythbusters.
Oh, because
he's usually. Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't talk about the bucket memes.
The bucket memes.
Yeah, in like maybe 2008, 2007, there was just this whole series of memes about a walrus that had a bucket. It's like I has bucket, and then they took his bucket, and he said, "No, my bucket." If I look it up, I swear.
That's okay. I believe you.
I swear I'm not crazy. You're going to know what I'm talking about. Oh my God, this is such a...
I can feel my brain shoveling this into a furnace as the thoughts are created.
So it's funny because I looked up walrus bucket meme that I know for sure existed in my memory. And do you know what? It came up a Know Your Meme page called Lolrus.
Oh my God.
But I did find the image I was thinking of in my head, and I'd like you to take a look. You try to guess what I'm about to point out about this image.
That it is not a walrus.
It's not a walrus. I'm pretty sure that's an elephant seal.
Yeah. See, that's what I was mentioning earlier, that they have such similar anatomy aside from the tusks that I have to make sure I'm talking about a walrus and not an elephant seal.
It's all about this sort of contentious relationship between this elephant seal that has a bucket, and then a zookeeper takes the bucket away and the seal is in distress about it. This is the most peak, like, pre-2010 meme. It's so, like, can has cheeseburger, lol speak.
We can put that back in the history book.
Yeah, we could close the... we can set that one right back on the shelf. Maybe don't need to get that one back down. It's so stupid. I'm sorry. That's why I don't think people should be dunking on Gen Alpha for like skibbity toilet memes, because like the stuff we found funny when we were like that age, It's this. Like,
yeah, it's true. And
stupid.
then it's just our parents didn't have the word cringe at the time. So
maybe we should have been bullied a little bit more. I didn't mention it during my segment, but there is a Pokemon based on the chinchilla. It's called Chinchino. It's a cute Pokemon. That's all I had to say about that.
Is there a walrus Pokemon? Yeah. The
Walrein.
he's like the final evolution of a
Spheal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it goes Spheal and then something and then Walrein.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a huge pain in Gen 3 because I think one of the last gym leader had it. And it whooped me every single time. Celio is what it evolves from. Spheal, Celio, and then Walrein.
Okay.
That's a good Pokemon. Well, thank you, Christian. That was a delight. I would like to remind you that if you've never been a Max Fun member before, you can try it out for as little as $5 a month, and that will give you access to all of the bonus content. I think if you signed up at the $5 a month level and started listening to the bonus content, you could still be listening to the bonus content by next Max Fun Drive. There's so much stuff in there.
Oh yeah, especially for the more long-running shows who've been building up that content for a while.
Oh my god, they've got like a decade plus of bonus content in there. We've only got 3 episodes, but hey, if we meet our goal of like 300 new and upgrading members, we will have a lot more in there next year.
Bump up those numbers.
Yeah, let's put those numbers up. Even if you can't, sign up or give money this year, please go look at the pin designs and the bandana design because, I mean, they're to die for. They're so cute. If you're not currently operating a motor vehicle or otherwise unable to safely use your browser, please do go to MaximumFun.org/join and learn more about the drive, how you can be a part of this whole thing and keep us chugging right along. Also, please follow us on social media because there is always really cool stuff going on, like live streams, shows. We're also really active hanging out on socials during the drive, so please do keep an eye out for Max Fun Drive happenings on social media. I think that's all we have for this week. We'd like to thank Louis Zong for our theme music, which rocks. It's very good.
Yeah.
Goo-goo-gajoob. Goo-jooba-jooba. Goo-joob. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture.
Artist owned, audience supported.